Are we live already? Okay. Sorry, can you hear me? You're not hearing me today. Can you guys hear me?
We're live, we're live. I can hear you. Okay, go ahead, Tolu. It's 9 p.m. already.
Okay. Hi, welcome everyone to our program this week. Welcome to the studio. For our new viewers, please, this is an interactive session. We welcome you to join us in this discussion. We have 7 slots for people who would like to join us. I hope we have posted the link that you can use. Please, when joining us, remember um, to accept both audio and video. You can later stop your audio or video when you have entered into the studio. But if you don't do it when you're at the beginning, you will not be able to talk to us or see, or we will not be able to see you. Okay. Also, just to remind us that if you love what we do, please support us by following our various social media channels, which we will be posting during the course of the show. Today's topic is an interesting one. It's also a bit controversial, and we hope to be able to discuss this in a balanced way without offending anyone or breaking any rules. The topic for reminder is navigating finances in marriage. What approach is the best? And for now, we have myself, Tunde, and Innocent with you. We are hoping to have Mars later. Later, she's being held up by something important. But Mars is here now. Tunde, please bring Mars in. She's outside the studio. I can see Abdul on the group. Please, Abdul, feel free to use the link and join us. Remember to select both audio and video to be able to join us and participate. Okay, so we will start with the topic. Why is this topic important? The truth remains that finance remains one of the areas that causes friction in a lot of relationship, whether we like it or not. There is no one size fit it all for any family. So whatever we are discussing, we will try to always stress that there are various circumstances. You must not pick what you hear here and apply it to your family. You have to look at what applies in your family setting. However, we would also be discussing general principles that people who might be in this kind of situation will be able to apply. And hopefully, like I always say, I hope to leave here learning something. Um, so before we go ahead, does anyone have any contribution as to why this topic is very important? Any examples?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Like I would always say that the family is very important um, factor in any nation building. Just as the family is we all know that family is a subset of any community, and that's that subset is also very important in the health the health of that community, and therefore it is very important for us to look at everything that makes the family very healthy. And so finance is like the moderator has just said that finance is one major area where most homes have struggled. Most families or most marriages, let's be precise, most marriages have struggled and finding it difficult to um, to be in tandem to be in sync with one another, the husband and the wife, not agreeing to um, the same ideology of finance. And once this happens, um, the the things will fall apart, and which will also metamorphose to an unhealthy community. So, um, like I said in the before I started speaking, it is very important that the family is healthy, and so this topic this evening is very very necessary because it is one major key factor that helps to bring peace to any marriage. So it will be an interesting one tonight.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it will really be interesting. So let's kickstart in the absence of any other contribution. Um, so let's start with things that might be very relevant when talking about this. So, um, for example, we can start with what do we think about certain issues like who should be the primary finance person that brings money into the family? Do you think that it really matters who in the family should be bringing money in? What do we think about this?
Right. I'll just for clarity, I would want to say it depends on the culture you're in. But personally, it doesn't matter who brings, because sometimes it might be the man that is able to bring, sometimes it might be the woman that is blessed with a job that is able to bring in finance, and sometimes it might even be your child. So we're in modern times now where children are getting deals with football, academies, different companies. Maybe a child becomes what's it called, an actor at an early age, and they're the ones actually that are the breadwinners of the family. Let's face reality. If you're not going to say, oh, because it's a child, we're not going to touch the money. No, we're not going to accept that it's a child bringing. It's actually your child that God has blessed you with that is bringing money in. So we're in a season right now where things are changing. There are lots of dynamics happening. A lot of us know very young actors. Even Michael Jackson started, and his the Jackson Five. They started singing at very early age. I'm sure it was the money coming in from them that was spending. So personally, I would say it doesn't matter who. But then I don't want to also disrespect those people who have cultural values that strongly believe that it should be a man that is doing it. But personally, I won't put it to them. But I know there are cultures that do that. If it works for them, if it's working for them, then fine.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that. I think your voice is not bringing any echo, so you can leave your sound on. Um, Thank you. Very nice opinion. Does anyone have a contrary or maybe want to add something to what she said?
Okay, she has said it all. Go ahead, Innocent.
Yeah, yeah. So I would want to just add to what she said because um, cultures change, things change, and over time we notice that um, right now in a lot of countries, both partners try to help in bringing money into the house. However, we know that different families might have different circumstances. So the woman might even be more privileged, some the man might be more privileged. And so there is really no rule that says one person should be the one to provide. I fully agree with that. Um, I would then want to delve into the aspect of human nature and gender roles. So, do we believe that there is a natural tendency for a man to feel pressure to be the one no, not to be the one to provide? I mean, in situations where things are not going well, who will be more likely to feel the pressure, the man or the woman? What do we think? This is more into human nature. We have just one lady here. I wish we could get in more ladies to hear what they think.
So I think it's the
Uh,
man that will feel the pressure. Sorry, innocent, go ahead. You have
okay, let me say something. I think I was almost going to jump into this before you ask the question.
Can you speak a bit louder? We're not hearing you very well.
Okay, I said I think I was almost going to jump into this before you asked the question. Because Max mentioned culture already in her remark, and I realized that culture it differs. This idea we are trying to push differ from culture to culture. And I would like to talk about where I come from, like where we come from, which is in Nigeria. Basically, in Nigeria, it is generally understood that the man is the provider. That's why if you go to Nigeria's social media space, you will see a lot of women saying things like, when you ask women, what do you bring to the table? You see them talking about, I bring only myself, and the man has to bring every other thing, right? But if you go to other space, like let's say you go to Europe or America, you might not see ladies thinking like that, right? But in this part of the world, we believe that it's the man that does all the provision, that should provide. So when the man is not in a very good position to do that provision, you will see a lot of emotional, the man goes through a lot of emotions, and some people are not even aware. It turns out that when the woman is in a position in this part of the world, when woman is in a position to make those provisions, they tend to push to that status of becoming taking the lead or somehow in a way. But I don't think that's how it should work. I think just like Mark predicted, if you are in a position to provide even a child, what matters is the family. It should be a teamwork. Okay, if you're the one making the provisions, it doesn't really matter. If you find yourself in a in an advantage and you're able to make provisions, okay, fine. If it is not there, what would have been the provision? That's what we need to put into consideration. So culture really affects the way people think around areas where we are really do affect when it comes to trying to provide to our children.
can I just
Oh,
say
okay. Thank you. Yeah, Innocent, your volume might still need to go up a bit. We're not here. We're hearing you, but a bit low. Okay. Miles, you wanted to say something?
yeah, I just wanted to say that what you just said. I didn't hear the end, but did you just say culture plays a big role in? Okay. Now,
Yeah, that's
I
what I
want to say something. I don't want to throw a spanner in there, but you do know that even though we're from Nigeria, every culture differs, and not all cultures actually go with what you said in Nigeria. There are some cultures I've seen actually
Yeah,
families.
that might be true. That might be
Yeah.
true, but I think the prevailing culture, like most cultures, expect men to be the provider. That's why in the Nigeria space, like I said, I didn't say in Nigeria like when you go to our homes. I said if you go to social media space in Nigeria, that's what is obtainable. That's what people believe, isn't it?
So we're because I'm thinking we're
Am I
mixing
wrong?
culture and social media. So if it's cultural, the reason I've said this is I've actually grown up with some people and this is not recent, before the era of social media and all that. And it's actually the like it's a polygamous family, and it's the wives that actually fend for their children. And it begs, and they have to work to do that. So it begs the question: is it actually our culture that a man provides?
Hmm.
That's a question there, because I've grown with people polygamous home, and it's and even the ones that are even monopoly monogamy monogamous families. I've said monopoly monogamous family. They have seen where it's the wife, the woman, the man doesn't. So
But
I'm struggling.
that what you are just saying now, will that in that kind of family where they come from, is that what is prevalent in that in where they come from, or that is just a one-off
Character.
situation.
I don't know.
So, so that is again what we should look. If that is what is prevalent in where in the place where they come from, then we can say it is cultural, like you mentioned before, and Innocent alluded. But if it's just a one-off thing, then all of these things, there's no, there are all usually exceptions that to the things that we are saying. Even if it's a culture, some people might say, okay, I'm not following the culture, I'm breaking, you understand. So those are the issues with that. Like the the moderator said earlier on, we are not trying to push any agenda. We're just trying to discuss and see, brainstorm what is really the way, the best strategy. How has it worked in our different, in our own experience, in our own different homes, and from the experiences of others that we've heard about.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I think everybody's comment is very good. I just wanted to add a bit to the question, to the answer that Miles gave for my question, um, because I think that there is a natural tendency for men to want to provide and protect. So that is two innate function in men. And so when there is financial stress in the family, the man might feel it a bit more, because a lot of men get really stressed when they cannot provide enough for their family. That's just my thought. In terms of culture, I don't really know much about culture, but like Mars said, I know of some cultures in Nigeria that actually um, almost encourage women to provide. So we
In
can't really
Nigeria.
say generally it's a cultural thing, but I think gender wise, I just feel men have that nature. That's why when they're not able to provide, some of them just run away. Some of them just get really, they really get depressed about it. Anyway, that's, I think that should be enough for that. Any further comments will encourage us to discuss on it. But let's move on. There are other things that are still very interesting to discuss about. I want us to quickly delve into what ideas can help a family to do, at least to be able to cope financially. What suggestions can families apply to be able to cope, especially we know in this period of economic stress worldwide, everywhere in the world. Some people think say, I'll use pidgin, Nigerian pidgin. Some people think say, nah, if you dare abroad, say everything is rosy. Nah, like it's not always like that. So everybody is going through different financial stress, just as some is better than others. So what advice? Not everybody, oh, we have some Dangote, some Otedolas and others, but majority of us fall into this category where we have to plan, we have to organize ourselves so that we don't fall into financial distress. So what are the advice we can give to families to help them in these situations?
Okay, is a tricky one. For me, I think when there is economic downturn and which affects most homes, I think that's the right time for people to cut down on their expenses. You know, budgeting at that time is very critical. It is that time that you have to live not just within your means now. In fact, if you can live below your means, that's the time that is welcome. You understand? And it is also to help in that time again is for the couple to be open how they spend their resources. Communication is very key at this time. And again, thirdly, is you to take for you to try to take advantage of any opportunities you see. to make money. Nothing is too small at that time. Let me just stop at this point.
Okay, Maz, what do you have to say?
So yeah, budgeting, as my colleague has said, is quite important. Another thing I would say is important is um actually discussing with transparency about our incoming, our what comes, our incomes, what come into the accounts, what, because some people might have, and this is a different topic. Some people might have joint accounts, some might have their sole accounts. um, it's good to have joint accounts, but I also believe in having also a sole account, especially from my viewpoint of where I stay. Here in the UK, it's good to have joint account, but it's also good to have your sole account. Now, we also need to have look at things like when your money comes in, you discuss it with your transparency. I earn this, you earn this. What do we do about the? I know the man would want to pay most men would want to be the ones paying all the this. But as a wife, what I do, and I'm not saying every woman should do this. This is just me. Disclaimer: that this is just what I do. I actually do some bills because why not? I have the I have the capacity to do that. I do that, and I own it with my full chest. I'm doing it, and it hasn't stopped my husband from not doing his part. So he
Mm,
does full part, and there are times when he will just say, "This is what is left of it. Let's put it in the savings." Which I'm going to take me to the next point. Think about rainy days. Don't just eat everything from hand to mouth. There's a reason we have the farmers have the harvest, and they also keep when after harvest they keep their seed for when they will sow it. They keep the best seed. When they pay you that bonus, put it in the savings because you never know when you will need it. And it's important that you all have that. For me, again, I'm talking about when I say we all have, my family, we have a vision. We actually have a vision. This is what we want to do this year, this month. It's broken down to the month. This is what we are doing this month. This is our aspiration. This is what we want, so that we know in our subconscious that when we are spending the money, we have something to stop us to say when we think of spending, overspending, because that overspending happens sometimes. You just think of it, okay, we have this project that we are doing. So, three things I've called out there. It's important to discuss your income with transparency. Number two, it's important to talk about savings. Number three, focus. Have like a family meeting where you guys have probably your milestones. This is what we want to do this year. This is what we want to do. This is the project we want, and you're all singing from the same hymn sheet, so to say. That way you're aligned, because finances, let me tell you, there's nothing that even those of us that are Christians and Muslims, that the Bible says the love of money is the is what the root of all
root
evil.
of all evil, yeah.
My mom, blessed memory, always says money is what will cause fight between a father and a son. Money will cause fight between a mother and a daughter. Money will cause problem between husband and wife. Money can cause problem between you and your loved
Anybody.
one if you don't actually set a pace on how to deal with it.
I agree. Okay, let me briefly throw one question to you based on what you said. What about family that is at the stage of debt, whereby they've not been able to sort their debts? How then would they be able to do savings? I'm just interested in that because I'm just thinking there was a time in my early life, not really early, it's not too long ago, when I couldn't really save. The amount of things that I needed to sort were so much to the extent that if I was to save, I would have to borrow to sort issues. So, what do you have to say about this kind of situation? And let me tell you, in Nigeria, there are a lot of people in these brackets.
Okay, I'll go back to what Tunde Gold said. He made a very, very important. I don't know how many people caught that thing, that what he said,
Mm,
that punchline he said. Live within your means. Cut your coat. They used to say cut your coat according to your size. It's actually cut your coat according to your material. If I have 1 yard, now that 1 yard I go use. I'm
See,
not
let me still clarify because we have a variety of people that will listen to this. The truth is, there are some people that don't even have the coats. You understand? Before you say cut it to your size, No, 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 no. You know, see, see. Some people, when we're talking about debt, we are talking of debt at the level of basic needs. So they are
Very true.
borrowing to feed, they are borrowing to clothe their children, they are borrowing to send their children to school. I'm not talking about borrowing to go and do burial, borrowing to go and do wedding or go and drink. No, I'm talking about that level where you are trying to meet your basic human needs. Unfortunately, our society allow us to does not secure that aspect, because we live in societies where some of us live in societies where the government will try to at least make sure that people can meet their basic needs and not beg.
See,
So we live in a
see,
society, and we come from a society where there is no safety netting. So you have families who are at that level I'm describing. So what do we say about this?
well, this is for me is a very critical one because, truth be told, if there is low income, let's not even talk before I go to the debt issue. If there is low income, basic economics told us that low income will lead to low savings, and low savings will lead to um, no investment. You get, so it's just a circle of poverty. Circle of poverty. When your per capita income or your take home cannot take you home, what will
Mm.
happen is you can't you have not eaten,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so nobody, it doesn't make any sense for you to start saying you want to save. And so,
yes.
just like you were saying that, in this part of the world where we come from, sometimes some people just find themselves in a catch 22 situation where they can't even meet their basic needs: shelter, food, and what's the third thing? Shelter, food, and clothing.
Clothing.
Yeah,
Mm.
yes. So these three things, according to Abraham Maslow's law of motivation, that are the basic needs of man. So, um, developed nations, senior society try to help their citizens in these areas. But in where we come from, Nigeria, people are still struggling. That's the more reasons why people go to church more. That's why you have more people that are religious in this part of the world, um, going to pray for basic amenities that the government is supposed to fix. You get, so if you are in America or big developed nations like America or UK, people will hardly go to church and be praying that, oh God, give me the food that I will eat tonight, or give me the food that I will eat tomorrow, or give me the, these are things that has been kind of provided for, so, but these are the things that we are struggling with. For someone that finds himself or herself that is not able to meet these basic needs and is still indebted, in Nigeria, God is I don't know. I don't want to bring religious to this, but
Yeah.
I don't know what else the person can do.
Let me
The person
Um,
can only,
sorry. Let me come in here.
let's
Okay,
just land
sorry.
on my thought.
Go ahead. Yeah,
The
go
person
ahead.
can only believe on favor from God, as we will always do, and maybe family and friends to come to rescue. Because obviously that person has made mistake. Sometimes many people put themselves in the situations they are because most times we are coming as a couple, you should have agreed on the number of children. For somebody that is not, you don't have any skilled job, and you are raising children of about 5 7, you understand, so you already have a large family, and so sometimes when there's economic meltdown, it will definitely affect you. But even there are some people that have all these things, they have good jobs going on, and life happens. Nigeria happened
Yeah,
to
life
them.
happens. Very
so
good
so
point.
in that kind of situation, what they need to do is to reach out to we still go back to what we said initially, that your taste must have been high, so but you have to come down at your taste. If, for instance, you were eating 3 square meal, who even told us there is anything like square meal? So if you are eating 3 square meal now at that time where there is each meltdown, you are supposed to now reduce it to maybe 2 square meal. You get, so just
or
try and
cycle or
readjust,
2 cycle
readjust,
meal.
readjust
Let me come
until
in.
you're able to survive. Okay, innocent. I think
Let
Before,
me come in there.
thank you, Tunde. Very nice points you
I
raised.
wanna.
Innocent, you will come in soon. Just let me just say something. Why I wanted us to discuss this is because we are on a live and people would watch, and you can have one. I'll use a woman. I'm not being gender whatever, but I'll just use a woman who will go and meet the husband and say, "I said we should be saving. I said we should be saving every month. We just spend all the money, you know." So it was good for us to clarify this because there are circumstances that it may not apply. But what Miles said is very important. Save for the rainy days, live within your means. There is always something you might be able to cut down on to be able to reduce the financial stress you go through. Our cultures pushes us to do certain expenses that are not necessary. If you have burial, you have wedding, you have some of these necessary things that comes in life, there are cheaper methods of doing this which we need to adopt. The economic situation is not easy. We can't keep living in the past. So if you know that things are difficult, then you shouldn't be the one throwing an extravagant wedding or saying I must bury my father like this. You keep your dead relative in the mortuary for months or years just trying to gather money to do that. At the end of the day, when you do the burial, you come back to reality. You need to eat, you need to clothe, you need to take care of your family, you need to send your children to school. So live within your means. Very important points, but we also acknowledge that there are people who might be in exceptional cases. Innocent, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to bring up the. I want to be able to link this to what we're saying before about the role of the man to provide. Okay, it is expected that the man provides, especially in when the family is in a deep shit, like financial situation, like a financial shit. Let me put it that way. Like the family don't have money. Everybody is broke. Nobody has money. So it becomes the responsibility of the man to provide. Now, in situations like this, everybody, just like we've said, has to be open and transparent. One thing that will help, as we have iterated in almost all our comments, is prioritizing our spending. When you say you are broke, it doesn't mean you are not making money at all. It's just that it's not enough. So you have to prioritize. Sometimes you discover that the money you're making might just be enough. It's just that you're not spending it wisely. I'll give an example. When I was in school in AAU those days, I stay from my school to my home is I will spend about, let's say, 250 naira then to get home. Sometimes when you go out, you are walking on the road, you see some people approach you and tell you, hey, I need money to complete my transport, or I need money to go. It has never happened to me, even when I was in school. Even when I get broke, like I don't have 1 naira, I can move from my school and get home successfully without begging for money on the way. How does that happen? I will take a bike from my house to the park. I'll beg the driver and say, give me 15 naira, then let me give to the bike man. I'll pay off the bike man. I will tell the driver, don't worry, when I get to the park, I'll pay you. The driver takes me to the park. I beg the other bike man that will take me home. Say, give me money, let me give to the driver. When I get home, I'll pay you. You use wisdom. You have to use sense to do some things. You have to prioritize your things. Another thing that can help is
You're reminding
upskilling
me of
or
my school
reskilling.
days. Continue.
Yeah, that's what a lot of us go through. But some people don't know how to manage the situation. You end up begging. Some people, I've seen some boys, young persons meet me and tell me, I'm going to so place. I don't have money. I only have this one. Please help me to complete it. I say, and you left the house. You don't have money. Why did you leave the house and get stranded? So it's the same thing. You get married, you are in a family situation. If we are really open to each other, we can manage the situation. It is said that a man's pocket is open. Like I remember attending a marriage, and the speaker said the man should put money in his chest pocket always, because the woman has the right to take that money. But the woman's money, nobody can take because they put it inside.
This matter, this matter, this
that,
matter. We go.
that,
We need to track this
that's
matter
the
well
situation. That's
because
the situation
it's
in the
not
place
fair.
we live in. So sometimes, sometimes you find out that it's only the man that is actually struggling in that broken situation, and the woman has, and she will bring it out. So everybody needs to be open and transparent, and then with that we can walk our way into becoming having enough to save for the rainy day. Because if you don't have enough to even take care of the basic needs, you can't save. That's the point Terry was trying to bring out. You can't save. One thing that can actually help, which has helped me personally, is upskilling or reskilling. If you are in a particular job, or you are in a, let's give an example, you do bricklaying, and you realize that in your area nobody is building house because the economy is bad. If you can do bricklaying, what stops you from looking for something else to do, like clearing bushes? If you can do bricklaying, you can clear bushes. If you can handle shovel, you can handle cutlass. Or let's even assume you can't do all those things. You can even look for a softer work like being a tailor. Because even when people don't build houses, people will still wear clothes. So what stops you from, at the age of, let's say, 35 or even 40, what stops you from spending 1 year to learn how to sew clothes? And you will just discover that it will change your economic situation. People look at the training period to be too long sometimes. I have some examples of persons I have one brother who is a friend who already had 4 or 5 children before he started medical school. This man went to medical school, Uniben, graduated, and now he's a doctor in his 50s and he's doing well. So you can,
That's
I
shared
believe when he started
determination.
out medical school, he should be in his late 30s or 40s
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Very,
before he
very.
started. So
Yes.
it's very important for you to understand. It's very important for you to understand your economic situation and work on making it change. You can't just pray and make it change. No, you can't. It doesn't work with prayer. The Bible even said, "Work, prayer without work, it doesn't work." So it cannot work.
Great.
So that's just my opinion on that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I keep looking at the time, and the time is just running. It's a very nice topic, and let's move on. There are other things we can talk about. Let's talk a bit about joint accounts. Mars briefly touch on it. What do we think? I know of a family that had issue because of this, so might be something we want to talk about. I opened joint account years ago, but we never used it. So, but truly, thinking about joint accounts, it's a nice one because um, I think people can use it in different ways. You can use it to save for the family, like a kind of family investment, or you can use it to pay bills. It can be easier. Just pay from there. So when we put into that pocket, we use it to pay our bills. Um, I think there are many ways farm and joint accounts can be okay. What do we think?
So for joint account, I know for a fact that if you're applying for as together as a couple, say for certain things here in the UK,
Hmm,
if you don't have a joint account, it's difficult to go ahead without those things.
hmm,
Um, if you're doing certain businesses as together, like you're both collaborating together to do the business,
hmm.
it's hard for that application because you need like a fact. It's like a proof that you are not alone. You're actually together. So
Oh,
it's a very good thing as well. One thing I'll say is for you to have a joint account, you must be working with someone who actually is 100% honest.
Open, open. Yeah.
Yes, and honest, because I cannot be putting 5,000 in the account and you are putting 1,000 and you come and carry the 4,000. What is that about? No, I'm being honest though. So you have to be, we have to be honest. We need to be, if someone is, the Bible did not say that, or whatever good book you use did not say we should do this joint account so that you can cheat me. It's actually there for a reason, and the
And
reason
now your
God has
husband now.
defined.
I love
The-
now. Your husband now.
It's
I love
see, let me tell you something people misunderstand about what God wanted for. The reason God wanted husband and wife to be together is for good. It's not for bad. It's not for wickedness.
Yeah.
None of us is meant to be cheating each other. You understand?
Mm.
And I feel that with joint account, if you're dealing with someone who is shrewd and who is a cheat, don't do it. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I agree with you. The whole idea about joint accounts, it should be an open thing, and the contribution to the joint account should be determined by each person's income. If the family wants to use joint account, we don't. My family, we don't use joint accounts. Maybe we might consider it in future, but for now we don't. But what we
Sorry, can
do,
I just say there? But some
yeah,
people go about shaming farm people who don't have joint accounts. You find a lot
mm,
in some of these church programs or some of the programs, spiritual programs. You don't have joint account. There is no trust in your marriage. Meanwhile, our marriage has been fine, oh. Till
mm,
that pastor now said that because you don't have joint account, we have problem. Now there the trouble starts. The wife will now start haunting the man. Why don't you want, or the husband say, why don't you want to put your money in this account, in the joint account? See, and again, there's some people call it joint account, and the man's name only on the account. The man will putting money inside. If anything happened, that woman has lost
But
everything. Vice versa.
again,
baby,
one
you,
thing
you
again,
bring out some very funny points,
she's just
and they're very
punching
relevant. You say?
she's just punching
Yeah,
the
punching
topic.
yeah, the
But
balloon.
again, this joint accounting, I think sometimes the way we go about it is number one. Me, I don't. I feel that most times people do it wrongly in the sense that um, if there's a joint account, the best way to test, somebody said there's a politician in Nigeria that said, may our integrity not be tested. Understand? So you can say you know your husband. My husband is this that. May his integrity not be tested. May your wife's integrity not be tested. So where I'm going is that if you want to do a joint account, I feel that in the bank, there's this portion in the bank that allows um, that gives the condition that the two parties must sign. Yes, two must sign. Not either of the parties can sign. If you go about either of the party can sign, then that's when all this issue of cheating can come up. Then again, maybe for that kind of account, you both agree that okay, you are not doing mobile banking. It's just only going to be um, withdrawal through check, through the checkbook, and it must be two must sign for withdrawal purpose. So maybe that could be like we help to checkmate.
But can I come in here a bit? I'm sorry to say, but if you and your wife do not trust yourself to that extent, is there need to do a joint account to start saying we shouldn't sign, we can't operate from our phone? I think the whole idea of joint account, you guys have gotten to that level where, according to Two Phases, say you don't need to trust nobody, but you have to trust someone. If you want to live the life of I trust nobody, you'll be a lonely person. But you just have to trust people, and you have to trust a few people and move on with your life. So, for me, I would
So
say
look at
if you have trust issues, then just leave out the joint accounting, and then you can use other methods. But
In the bank, there's something they call memorandum of understanding. So there is a
look at this
document that
comment
you
from
will sign.
Facebook from one of our
Yeah.
viewers. This is an
Mhm.
experienced
The bank
banker.
allows both or either to sign. It's the couple's decision. So there is a document that you two must present during the opening of the account to open the account. It will contain all these. It's not a decision that the couples will make. It's a decision that as in the bank will tell them how to make the decision. The bank will suggest to them, okay, this, and then you choose from it. You know.
yeah, I like what Abdul put just now. He said
Look
it's
at
not just
another thing
about
he said.
trust. Sometimes it's about one party might be prudent and the other is not. I think that's a good one. So another
So
person may help to checkmate you if you want to
yeah, it just
spend.
aligns with what I said.
Yeah, that's a good one. But can I just bring up a point here because time is running and issues, things are in our head. So about family expenses. So I just wanted to just chip in something that in terms of family expenses, there are things that either couple, either member of the family can spend without telling their partners, you know. But you see, when you are engaging in very serious or large um, expenses that will consume a lot of money, or debts that would affect the family very well if things do not go well, or investments that if it goes the other way can be very negative to the family's finances. Those kind of issues should involve both parties, even if even if each person is earning separate, earning their own money. And what do we think about this?
Yeah, absolutely. An example is sometimes you see couples are working together, putting money into the joint account, and maybe the wife is putting, the husband is putting, and either of them, for the sake of posterity, I'm going to say maybe the woman has a side boy that she's like a side piece that she's working on, and she's taking the money and giving that boy. How fair is that for
Mm,
the man?
mm,
You understand? So good and fine if you want to do your thing, go and, but don't touch what is the family's thoughts. You understand what is the family is using, or even sometimes it's relatives. The man might take the money and send them to build one mansion in the village for, and the woman doesn't know about it. And then we are here in the UK. This is a life story I'm telling you, that they are hustling. They don't even have a place. They are actually renting, and they are almost kicking them out. But he's throwing money to Africa where he was never. They are not going to live there. Who is going to live in that house in the village? It's not in Lagos, it's not in Abuja, it's not even, it's in their village, a big mansion that he's building.
That's where
I
transparency comes in.
um
That's what we're
uh,
talking about.
yeah,
Being
so
open to
that
each
that
other.
brings back to the point that any massive spending in form of
Yeah.
giving family relatives, what is it called, buying something in the house, should run through the both parties. At least both parties should be aware, and there should be no major objections before you go ahead. Yeah.
There's something
And
I would want to highlight in this
yeah,
our
please.
discussion. I don't know. When
I
there's a
wanted,
major
sorry, Innocent. Allow me to just interrupt you a bit. I wanted to acknowledge Kolawole Funsho Emmanuel for his comments. He says that I think on joint accounts is better for elders to sign because of unforeseen circumstances. And secondly, so that means, for example, if somebody dies or it becomes more complex with handling money in the bank. And secondly, there should be a cap on withdrawals. That's a very nice one.
okay,
So, if for
those are good.
example you have 10 million in the account, we can say one person can sign up to 1 million or 2 million, but both parties will be required to sign up to maybe 5 million, something like that might be nice.
Okay, another
Um,
question he asked. Look at, can I
Kola
can I
always said, who
can
will
I
be receiving the alert?
can I respond to this? Can I respond to this?
Yes, please. Tunde, please
Uh,
respond.
on this, my own family, we sort of have something like this. It's not a joint account, but it's more like a business account. But me and my wife are both directors of the business, so she receives the alert, right? I'm answering Kola Wole's question, for sure. So she receives the alert via SMS, but I see the alert via email, right? So we have both email alert and SMS alert. So because they can't use the two mobile phones for alert, so both of us can get email alert because she runs the business. So it's important for her to have SMS alert handy on her own phone. So I get the email alerts.
Oh, that's a beautiful suggestion. So, husband receive from email, wife receive from SMS, but SMS is faster.
No,
So
no, no, no,
somebody
no.
can
Email
really.
is faster.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
You get the alert at the same time.
Okay.
So let me not skip the point I wanted to bring up. This question is mostly asked when it comes to relationship, like when people are getting into relationship, or like you want to get married, you say, okay, what does the woman bring to the table, or what do we bring to the table?
I am the
Sometimes,
table.
so, good. We heard something like that. Sometimes you could just be the table. And what if you are the table and the table is supposed to have three legs and you only have two? So, and the other person can just bring the one leg. So now, why am I bringing this up? When it comes to finances in the family, it's very important for us to be open, clear, you know. And it's not all about money. It's not just all about money. I listened to an interview earlier today. I don't know. I think the man is a popular man. I've forgotten his name. He was like, he was in a situation. Uh, okay, not him. He related an experience of someone. He said someone, the man was arrested. They came to arrest him. And before you know, everybody was panicking. Even the younger brother was around, everybody was panicking. But the wife was just like, go now, follow them, don't worry, go. And then she made one or two calls. And just while he was landing at the police station, he was arrested on a Friday, which would have meant that they would detain him till Monday. But this woman made one or two calls, and someone came to release him. So bringing something to the table or helping the family is not just all about money. It could be your
In
connection.
kind.
The woman might not have money to go and do that bill that day, but he has the connection. So how do you bring that
Value.
connection to the
It
family
can
so
also
that
be
you
from
can
taking care of the
partner?
kids, just to add. So
Good.
so taking care of the kids is another way you can contribute financially, because if you were to pay for child care, you know how much you spend.
But
Can you
So
give birth to a
Yeah.
child? Is the woman that's giving birth to the child? Can you
Mars,
give
this
birth to a child?
generation, they are not thinking the way people are thinking. This generation is not even
let's
thinking about
not
it.
go that way.
Thinking the
But
way you
that's
are
the
thinking.
Also,
Anyway,
that's the
this
essence.
childcare
Um,
costs here in
um,
the
anyway,
UK.
Yes,
that
that's the ideal
that's the
thing.
essence of this discussion.
yeah,
That's the
innocent.
essence of this
That
discussion,
thing
so
you
that
said,
we can at least correct thinking the way people
yeah,
think, right?
innocent. That thing you
Okay, now
said. What do you bring to the table? Brings me to the next part I wanted to talk about. It says, his money is our money and my money is my money. I'm sorry, but I've been in TikTok live. There's a particular lady that anytime she starts this discussion, I come to her live and I am pissed. I just dislike that statement. What do you mean by his money is our money, my money is my money? Anyway,
that's
what I will say about this is that the purpose of marriage is for both parties to support each other. The husband can support, the wife can support in various ways depending on circumstances. But we should not come in with any sense of entitlement or trying to use your partner. Marriage should be born out of love. And so, if you love someone, you won't want to use the person. So, if you know that you can help in any way, help. We also know there are some marriages where maybe the disparity in income is so much that one party does not need to help really. Imagine one ordinary woman marries someone like Otedola. How much does she want to bring to the table? So just leave the table for Otedola. We do it. But very few people are in that situation nowadays. In nowadays marriages, especially in the country I reside, both parties almost have to contribute quite equally financially, depending on the situation, like I say. So we shouldn't come into marriage with that perception that,
Can I just say,
and people do it. I know of one case
There are
that
many,
personally
not only people.
the woman earns about half of what the man earns, but the man pays the bills, which consumes almost all his money. The woman does not feel any need to help at all. So at the end of the month, the man is left with nothing and the woman is saving her money.
it happens.
And we were
That's it.
discussing it, and the man is like, oh, it's my job, it's my job. But for goodness sake, that is not
And the
how it
woman
should
ends
be.
up
And do you know what happens in that setting? The woman end up doing major projects, and she ends
Yeah.
up feeling like I'm the one doing things. You don't do anything. But
Yeah.
forget that you buy you pay for all the groceries, you provide all the food,
Yeah.
and all the
So
other
The
things.
day-to-day
to
running,
avoid this kind of
the day-to-day
situation,
running.
just don't be selfish. Remove selfishness from marriage, and then we won't even need to discuss it. Just try and do your best, and then you'll find out that things like this will not be a problem. If you are into any form of relationship with friends, with family, with relatives, and you're always seeking for a way to be useful to them, and vice versa, that is a good relationship, a symbiotic relationship. But if you feel you are parasitic and you just want to stick on someone, and that person should be the source of every or your life and everything, but for you, you feel you cannot do anything or you shouldn't do anything, then that is not good in
Can I
any
say
form of relationship.
what you just said there? His
Max
money
wanted to say
is my
something.
money, and my money is my money. That comes from mindset. That's why it's very important that the people you associate yourself with, as women, the kind of women we associate ourselves with, the kind of people we rub minds with. Do you know that not if good bad it says bad manners corrupts good manners? Yeah, it's a real thing. When you start
Bad
going with some
company.
kind of corrupt, yeah, bad company corrupts good manners. When you start moving with certain people, the way they talk, you will begin to adopt that kind of way of talking, that their manner of belief, that's what you would also adopt. And you find yourself soon saying, oh, let's milk that man. Any man, when they somebody invites you for outing, you go and bring your whole village come and eat. What is that?
That
That's where it
Even in
starts.
that
social
thing
You
is
just
media,
very
what
common.
is that?
In those
social
days, I
media
remember the
influence
lady
is
will
another
just
one.
carry her friends
The whole village. And now some men have wives,
to come and
once they come,
follow.
once they see you, they will just order their own food alone. And people start tagging such men wicked. But the person is actually showing you that this is who I am. I've not known you. You're just bringing. Anyway, you said the thing about even some people get married to rich people, very rich people, but they still bring something to the table
Yeah.
because it's not all about money. Remember what you said? It's not
Mm,
all about money. Innocent said something like that. Sometimes it's about what you are even able to add to my business. Just one idea you may
Value.
give me,
Value.
mm.
your value,
Value. Yeah.
what something
Value.
you might say, even just being there for me when I come back home in the evening and I'm tired and I'm
Mm,
trying to just being there to talk about things. They say it's
mm.
lonely on top there, it's lonely up there.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
rich men they come home, they want to talk to you. You now be saying, I want this Gucci bag. And they, what is that? What are you adding to the table? What actually? What value? So I think it's more about think about it more in depth. It's not always money. Sometimes it's maybe it's even like Abdul with this might be a good time, fun time. You might must be able to do that, let's face it. You're
Abdul,
there for something.
Abdul, you are welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you. Last week you were there for though.
Thank
This,
you, thank you very much. I've really battled to get on here. I don't know what
yeah,
happened. I
yeah, good to
actually
have you. We're happy.
went out and I was rushing back home so I can catch up this. And I got home like 5 minutes to the start
Oh,
of
that's
the
nice.
of
Mhm,
the uh, i- i- of the event. I
mhm.
tried to power up my laptop, but I don't know. I think he had updates to do, and it's just keep giving me headache. And as usual, my phone. I've tried all I could to get connected to my microphone. Okay, I think it's almost time. So thank you for having me. It's been a nice discussion. I've listened all this while I was trying to get on. Navigating finances in marriage, to me, it's about the individuals. There are no two ways. There are no fast and hard rules.
Yeah.
There's no particular rules that work for anybody, that work for everybody. Yeah,
Mm.
it's about the individuals, and it's always good to be open in terms of your finances. Finances in marriage, it's always good to be open. Yeah, I know as a man, like Mary would, like Ma said earlier, sometimes we do some things that we just try to. There might be businesses that are quite risky that you wouldn't want to share with your partner, but the money that you're going to invest in such business shouldn't come from the finances that would affect the entire family finance. No, it
Good.
shouldn't. You have your own money, you use it for such business. If it comes out clean, okay, well, you can decide to come and declare and say, yes, I didn't want you to prevent me from taking this risk, you
Mm.
know. But navigating family finances is very key. Joint account is key, but in terms that we've had arguments about the signatories who receives a lot and all that. I know for me, I'll use myself as an example. We have joint account, so I don't even know which number gets the alert. Definitely not me. I don't know, but I know I have the account number and I know I put in money there. You understand? It's an account that I can see anytime I want to see, so I know what's happening there. So I'm not bothered about the alerts. I'm not bothered about the email. If I want to see, I know how to see it. You know what I mean? So it's all about trust when it comes to joint accounts, you know. And the signatories, I think, is either to sign, but I can't even recall ever going to sign in that account. You know, but I don't think it's an account that money goes out frequently. In terms of bills, yes, it's always good to also have, like Mark said, yes, we the men, we like to show down most of the bills, especially in Nigeria where we come from. But in the other side, sometimes I've seen an argument somewhere where somebody was saying a husband is asking for them to split the bills 50-50, you know, and she's come to the public to say, look, is it right? Is this well over there? That's how they do. But we in Nigeria, we try to kill ourselves, we the men. But I'm glad that we have women that are even ready, even without asking. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Without asking, women should be able to say, okay, yeah, this is what I'm contributing. This is what I'm doing. You go to work. You already knows what's left in the house, or you're coming back, or you're coming to buy this stuff. You don't need to say, ah, guy, rice don't they finish for you. You know what I mean? You know, you should be able to buy it. So basically, like I said, I don't have a fast rule. There's no one size fits all in terms of navigating finances in marriage. Just do what works best for you. In agreement. Like Mars would always quote the Bible. If two agree together, they can move mountains. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. It's been
Somebody
a
praise the
nice one.
Lord.
You know?
Thank you very much, Abdul. In a short time, you've reiterated most of what we tried saying, and then you brought very good points. We really appreciate. Hopefully, we can have you more regularly here. We'll be very happy.
Yeah, hopefully.
Um,
And I enjoyed the topic of last week, but unfortunately, I couldn't contribute. I wish we
yeah,
can do a part two. I have a lot to say about
yeah,
social media.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll do
So,
it.
so the truth, Abdul, the truth is that this is our fifth topic, and each topic has been very nice topics. And unfortunately, we've just had a short time to discuss. We are definitely going to go back to these topics again. I think so. And then maybe we'll have even more participants. But 1 hour is not enough to discuss this, but we will get there. Um, Hopefully, one person in the audience has learned something. Me, I believe I've learned something. I always don't want to end this live without learning something. Um, because one thing I've learned in the last few years is the need for reflection. You need to think about your actions and the fact that you are not perfect. So you learn every day. Google, Yahoo, Facebook, they keep updating every time. That is because they have never achieved perfection. The same thing with us as individuals. Okay, any final words from everyone? This is 3 minutes beyond time. Any final words before we go?
I would like to say, when it comes to money, for those who have not yet gotten into marriage, before you actually go into marriage, have that conversation. Know the debt that your partner has, because some people come with debt. They're already owing Mercedes Benz. They are owing Google. They are carrying the debt like bunge on their head, and you will carry it with them once you get married. Especially here in the UK, my debt is your debt.
Mm,
Once you are entangled, you are together in
we
it.
are
You feel it,
together.
then go feel them. You will feel it, and it's not a funny thing to feel. So don't go into it. When you just start talking, ask questions, open questions. Right now, people are going through traumatizing marriage, not just because of deaths that they didn't know about. It's broken homes. It has broken homes. So talk before you go into marriage. Talk about openly. Talk about what you like to do as a family. Talk about it so that at least from that discussion, you will know whether this person is stingy. You will know whether this person is not the type you should open joint account with. You will know. Maybe you still want to go ahead. The Lord is with you, but at least you know. You will not say you did not know, because that's very important. I don't care what anybody says. Money is important in marriage. Go and argue with social media. Money is important in marriage.
Very
That's
important.
true.
Very important.
Money is very important. In
Everybody.
fact, lack of money is one of the greatest strain of relationships in Nigeria today. Many marriages that are going through a lot just put money in the center and they will settle many issues.
Okay.
So it's very important, too, very important. Then just to add
I don't.
before we listen to the next person, please plan your family. We know there are circumstances that you might not be able to plan for, things like illness, things like losing your job, things like sudden economic downturn, like happens in Nigeria, where fear suddenly becomes 8 times the price, and all that. But the one we can at least do, we should plan it. For example, when marrying, you put financial planning in the center. How will we support each other? If you are getting married and you feel at that stage you are not able to take care of one child, there is no law that says who marry must have children. So have the children, have the child when you are ready. If you have one and your money, I will go to Nigerian pidgin right now, and your money go fit take care of one at this time, abeg stick to one, whether na boy or girl. There is no law that says I have to get the boy. And as you are thinking of getting the boy or getting the girl, you're not thinking about how to take care of them. So it is not right to bring children to the world to suffer unbearably. So please put this in your planning. Plan marriage in such a way that you can support each other. And when it comes to children, bring children at the right time when it's financially you're financially capable, and you bring the number of children that you can take care of. I just wanted to add it based on what man said. Please let's hear others based on rounding up.
I just want to round up on my point, and I still want to reiterate that point, that the idea of um, his money is ours and my money is mine has eaten deep into the culture. I said I was in a marriage event, and the officiating minister, the person who gave an advice to the married person, said, "As the man, your money should be here." Well, it shouldn't be like that. What that means is that as a man, your money should be the money that everybody is spending. But what that results to is that at the end of the day, the woman end up gathering money, doing major projects even if it's for the family, and then she takes the glory because the man doesn't have anything he's doing that is physical. So in such a situation, you see, it won't be balanced. So if we have as much as we can, just like in the Western world, they're able to bring things to almost 50-50. As much as possible, we should be able to realize that, okay, you are doing these expenses, let me do these expenses. It's out of love, just like Terry says. And in the end, the glory doesn't necessarily have to go to one person at the end of the day. Love should really come first in everything we do in the family.
Okay,
Final word from today.
for me, I would say communication. If you are yet to get married, the person you are intending to get married to, um, communicate with that person. Try to check and see their mindset on areas of finance. What do they believe in? What is their perception about finance? Like Maza said, so that you'll be able to judge that this is the person that aligns with my own philosophy. If the person does not believe that, if as a man, the person you are getting married to does not believe that she should support in the raining days or she should support in the you should know that that's a red flag. Most times you see these red flags, but we just out of maybe pity or some kind of foolish love go ahead with the marriage, to go ahead with the relationship. So communication is very, very, very key at the start of any relationship. so that you know that both of you are on the same page. And if there are variance when the relationship is on course, you can always point to the beginning and look, this is what we agree, this is what we agree. You are the one you are the one going, um, you are the one leaving the line, so that that person too can um, retrace his step or a step back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. It was a good
Abdul,
discussion.
I want to say something.
You said?
Abdul, I want to say a final word.
Oh, Abdul, do you have any final words to say?
Okay. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Tundego. Thank you, Innocent. Thank you, Maz. Um, there's this popular song that was sung by one of the former governor, is Praise Team. India buying, and agreement is agreement. Unfortunately, we are all saying people should discuss. People change. Sometimes you don't even know what you can change when the time comes. Circumstances can make people change. Basically, we just keep hoping and let's just keep believing. I would want to say let's keep praying, but we have to add that technically. And irrespective of your discussion, yeah, like Tunde said, yeah, we should keep reminding this was what we agreed. But you don't know what circumstances that has come up, and the person will just suddenly change. So basically, we should just people should just try to be good people. Just try to be good people. Just be good when it comes to finances in marriage. Be open and just be a good person. Be a good man. Be a
Yeah.
good woman. That's all we need. We just need to be good. Once you're
Abdul, I
good, you're
love
good.
this thing you said. Just be
Thank you.
good. Life is simple.
Life is
Just be
simple, my
good.
brother. Just be good.
We just make it difficult for each other. Thank you so much. Everyone has really contributed positively to this discussion. I will just use the opportunity to remind us we are present on YouTube, Facebook, um, TikTok, um, Twitter,
Instagram.
and Instagram.
Instagram.
On all the platform aside from Twitter, we are present on at Great Mind Inspiration TV, while on Twitter we are present at Great Mind Inspire. Please follow us. We need your support so that we can grow our audience and be able to send these kind of messages to more people. Thank you so much, and we see you again
Next week.
next 2 weeks, because we will be taking a 1 week recess, just to be able to take a bit of rest. We're coming back with more interesting topics. See you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.